Hi, everyone. Welcome to the monthly Swasth all hands call. The call today is going to be anchored by Shivangi Sharan from Swasth. Over to you, Shivangi, to start the call.
Hi, thank you so much, Ajay. Good evening, everybody. I'm Shivangi. I joined Swasth Alliance just last month, and I'm very excited to be a part of this team. So let's get this call started. We are starting today's call with a much awaited announcement from the PATH team. As you may be aware, last year Swasth partnered with PATH on their primary healthcare tech innovation challenge. Now, on this call, we have the PATH team here actually to announce the winners. So we will also do a quick two-part winner showcase. So on today's all hands call, you will be seeing the first set of winning innovations and a special showcase by them. And with that, I will hand it over to the team from PATH. So Priyanka, Neeraj, and Amil, over to you. You can now share your screen and take this show on the road.
Thank you, Shivangi. I think
Hi. Let me just stop my screen. You can then go ahead.
Thanks, Shivangi. Priyanka, you gonna share the screen?
Yes, Neeraj, I'm just sharing it.
Yeah. While Priyanka comes on, I think firstly, I think it's been a fantastic journey last year with, of course, Swasth and many other partners that we worked with. Primary healthcare, as I'm sure all of you know, is an extremely important subject, and PATH's overall theory of change is that we don't actually have the capacity to be able to have trained manpower at our primary health centers. So technology has to be the only way to leapfrog and get there. A little bit about PATH. We are a global organization headquartered out of Seattle. We work on innovations in devices, diagnostics, vaccines, etc. Some of our successes are listed on the slide, and I'm not going to run through them. We work in about 70 countries across the world. India has been, we've been in India for about 24 years now, and work across 22 states of India. We'll go to the next slide, please, Priyanka. And Shivangi, I think the cameras are not working. So I'm going to go without the camera.
All right.
Yeah, we also we're also launching our strategy on the 24th of February, and we'd welcome all of you to join us. Just to give you a little bit of a glimpse on what our thinking is. So firstly, we are looking at a separate urban and a rural strategy. We are looking at technology and how that's going to help us leapfrog for primary healthcare. Eventually also looking at a district-wide approach, because one of the things that's completely missing at the moment is the whole referral mechanism and governance of a specific geography. So we're looking at a district approach for the rural and a ward approach for urban. But I'm going to stop there and not talk about the strategy, and we will put it on the group. So if any of you are interested, please do join us on the 24th of February. Priyanka, back to you. Go for it.
Thank you, Neeraj, and good evening, everyone. I would take it from here, and I would be describing a little bit about the PHC Tech Challenge, briefly about how we started with it, the objective, the winners, the processes that we followed, and we have some of the winners as part one of this series with us, not in any particular order, and they will be showing their technology solutions and talking more about their innovations with us. I guess there is some issue with changing slides on my side. Give me a second and I'll just troubleshoot this. Yeah. So we started with a call for application in March of last year. The objective was to provide a platform that brings together innovations promising in medtech, digital health, cold chain supply solutions that could address the gaps which are there in comprehensive primary healthcare in India and in similar low middle income countries with similar sort of resource constraints. The broader vision in this was to accelerate the deployment of these solutions, which are ready, either tested at a pilot stage or near ready, so that it improves access to PHC care in, in the kind of resource constraints that we face in our country. So the call was rolled out and we received applications from over 100 organizations, companies, young entrepreneurs, renowned global companies, all of that, a combination of that. And these were then screened and evaluated for merit in the different rounds that we followed as part of preliminary screening and then evaluation by an expert panel in each of the three categories, that is medtech, digital health, and cold chain. These experts also comprised of people from industry, from similar development sector organizations, from funding organizations who promote technology solutions for improving access to health. And finally, in the month of October and November, we had the final pitch from the selected finalists and the winners were announced. We are very pleased to showcase these winners. There is some sort of problem with changing slides here.
Priyanka, if the problem persists, I do have a backup open, so you can let me know.
Yeah, if you could do that.
Yeah, okay, let me just.
Let me give it one more shot, or no, it's not working. So I'll stop sharing, and if you could share the screen, please. Thank you, Shiva. So very happy to showcase the winners here on the previous slide, yes. So we had a total of 17 winners, 7 each in medtech and digital health subcategories and 3 in the cold chain. And besides that, we also, in fact, not we per se, but the jury also found that there were a few notable mentions which deserved recognition in that platform. Although at this point of time, they felt that they were not the solutions in the current context of primary healthcare of the low middle income resource. So these are the winners. We have 5 of them joining us today. And we can start with Partha and team from Arogya. And I'll announce the order as we move forward. So Partha, if you could now share your screen and showcase us your technology.
Thank you. With me, Dr. Amrita Mukherjee and Rajiv Mondal have joined. So I would request Dr. Amrita to share the screen and run the presentation.
Yes, sure.
As she's opening up, so let me just say that we are very thankful to all of you to select our solutions, and I think that it will be very much appropriate for our journey as well to be associated with Swasth and the path in deploying this kind of solution in low-tech resources area. So over to Dr. Amrita.
Good evening to everyone. Is it visible? The slides are visible? Yeah, okay. So a very good evening to everyone here. I am Dr. Amrita Mukherjee, System Engineer of Arogam Medisub Solution. Today I'm going to present on Hemerix and Arogam Telehealth system, which is a remote health monitoring system for the primary healthcare setup. Now, there is a significant gap. There is a significant gap between the demand for healthcare and supply, especially in the rural India. 30% of the population still needs to travel 20 kilometers to access any healthcare facility, incurring a loss of 2 days of livelihood almost for a single such episode. Then, moreover, there are more than 150,000 such healthcare facilities which run low on the resources, especially in terms of physicians, diagnostic, and therapeutics. Keeping this thing in mind, we have developed Hemerix, an IoT-enabled lightweight point-of-care blood and urine analyzer, thereby significantly reducing the cost of testing and making the evidence-based telemedicine possible. Now, Hemerix device is integrated with Aroggam telehealth platform for providing last-mile health solution. The platform can also be connected to a digital stethoscope and ECG. As I was mentioning, that this device is a very lightweight. It based on the machine learning optical analysis. It has an inbuilt battery. It can test up to 25 parameters of blood and urine. And it is also connected to a cloud platform where the data gets stored for the future references. This is very important in the primary health setup and can be proven to be very important in women health and maternal and childcare system. We propose an early detection of the health issues, faster outreach at the primary health setups, and rapid deployment of the disease intelligence infrastructure. We envision that the device and the connected platform will be available in every wellness center of India and worldwide, enabling these situations which we are proposing here. Now, Hemerix is a patented device cleared by the CDSCO, and it is already CE certified. We have developed a manufacturing facility that is certified by NSIC Government of India. With 75 plus installations of the product, 75,000 plus patients are already being assisted in India and Africa. Now, one of the key pilot is being done in the remotest area of Arunachal Pradesh, supported by various government programs like Sarkar Aapke Dwar, community health centers, Ayushman Bharat Wellness Center, and other than the different drug addiction centers and telemedicine clinics. We have initiated our journey of ISO 13485 certification and European CE mark also. These are the regulatory status of the product in India and other places. We have validated the product in various institutes like School of Tropical Medicine, Kolkata, JSS Medical College, Mysore, and some long-term validation plans or long-term validation programs are already going on at different places. The validation program that has been done in tropical medicine has been already published last year. This is the quality journey so far for the Hemerix device. As I was already mentioning that we have a facility for production in Kolkata, which is registered with the Uddam. We have received several recognitions in 2021, notably the TIE Social Entrepreneurship Award, then the Lead Innovation by the Jancare, organized by the NASCOM and BIRA, and also we are one of the PHC Tech Challenge winner. The device, along with the Aroggam telehealth platform, has been successfully deployed in Arunachal Pradesh by the government of India. It has served 40% of the patients. It has seen that a total of 48% of patients have taken the advantage of the telehealth program, where they have been treated by doctors by a broad range of non-communicable disease through the telemedicine platform. It has also helped us to understand the disease prevalence in the region, along with the medicinal requirement for that particular state or for that particular regions. Another deployment has already been done in Purulia. So far, it has served 4,000 plus patients remotely. 3 doctors are treating them through one spoke and one hub covering villages in and around the clinic. We have conducted training and installations of the product throughout the pandemic situations through an online system from the Arogyam headquarters that is situated in Kolkata. These are few of the recognitions of Arogyam, and these are few of the media mentions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amrita. And if there is any question, we can definitely address that. Or
Yeah, maybe in the interest of time, we could take any questions towards the end. For now, I think we could move to the next presenter, which is Swasth Health, Akash and team.
Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. Just let me know when you can see it.
It is visible, yes. Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm Akash Kanju, and my co-founder Aditi is also on the call along with me. At Swasth Health, we use an AI-powered behavior change platform to personalize interventions and improve outcomes with health consumers and workers. We are very excited to be here and to share why we think what we are building is so relevant for primary healthcare, especially in low and middle income settings. I do want to take a minute to share why personally we are so excited to be part of this primary healthcare tech challenge. In 2017, we wrote a series of essays lamenting the state of primary healthcare in India, especially outlining why it seemed to be in a state of perpetual decline. In December 2020, I was very happy to revise my earlier pessimism to cautious optimism. There seemed to be a greater resurgence of attention on primary healthcare. And so now in 2022, it is truly exciting that primary healthcare is back on our collective agenda. And I really want to compliment PATH, Swasth, and many of the other organizations on this call and outside that are continuing to shine the spotlight on this very, very important subject for us. Just a quick mention of the macro trends that influences Swasth Health's approach to primary healthcare in the context of our work. And Neeraj talked about some of these earlier. The first is that people are living longer with more chronic diseases, reflecting a significant rise in consumer demand. We don't have enough doctors or healthcare workers to meet this demand. We're expected to be short by about 18 million healthcare workers by 2030. So with increasing demand and limited supply, healthcare costs are rising rapidly. And affordability is always a big talking point in India, but there is much, much less conversation on how these trends place at risk the quality of our interventions and the outcomes they can provide to us. This is a very unsustainable situation for anybody who's interested in the healthcare ecosystem in India. Fortunately, and concurrent with these trends, there has been an increasing but unmistakable shift in the adoption of digital tools, with consumers participating in their own health journeys. Health organizations, both within India and around the world, are increasingly looking to address health challenges via the use of digital tools. Whether you're suffering from heart disease or diabetes or cancer, or you are suffering from none of these, we have the digital tools now that can reach patients, educate and empower them, and help them make the right preventive health choices, both at the primary and the secondary level. And COVID has massively accelerated these trends. So at Swasth Health, our focus is how do we get these digital tools out in the hands of health workers and consumers, and how can we make them more effective by personalizing digital interventions for health workers and consumers. Our solution is a digital companion solution. It is indication agnostic mobile solution, mobile application that guides beneficiaries through a personalized gamified behavior change content journey. It allows them to earn points for activities on the application. It incentivizes their engagement with the application. The points earned can be redeemed for a variety of non-financial and financial incentives that drive positive behavioral shifts towards the predefined target outcomes. We also have our digital companion makes the journey fun and infotaining, giving patients and health consumers a reason to engage with the tools, even when they are feeling well, when they don't have a particularly acute need to use a solution. We also have a companion solution in the hands of healthcare workers that provides them with a gamified learning journey and allows them to track beneficiary engagement with real-time analytics. So an ecosystem that connects beneficiaries, health workers, and health administrators with real-time analytics can be valuable in two ways. The first, it can co-opt beneficiaries in the health journey by educating, enabling, and guiding them towards specific behaviors and outcomes. And the second, it can task shift some of the preventive health education work from healthcare workers and better inform the intervention they must prioritize within their communities. We've used this deployment for children's health intervention with over 110,000 families across urban and peri-urban India in several states. And we are just launching a deployment of this application for a family health intervention with support from ACT grants. We are also building machine learning algorithms, and we've published this work. And we think that these are going to be extremely vital to provide a personalized and an adaptive journey to end users, so we can augment their digital health engagement and guide them to better outcomes. Our belief is that beneficiary and health worker ecosystem solutions, when they are augmented with the right machine learning algorithms, can provide a scalable, cost-effective way to drive preventive health behaviors and improve outcomes at a primary healthcare level. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we are really excited about working with PATH and many of you on this call on primary healthcare solutions across India.
Thank you so much, Akash. And the next presenters are from Higher Biomedical and team.
Sorry to interrupt. I see a few questions and a few. We will address all questions once all the presentations are done. So you can record your questions till then. Just kindly wait till the end of all showcases. Thank you. Moving over to you.
So the team from Higher, you could now present your technology solution and share the screen as required. I think we, Higher team could troubleshoot or maybe type on the chat if there's any issue. And in the meantime, we could have then Medi Asha present their technology.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. You hear me? It's Lee here, Lee from Harvard Medical. Can you hear me?
Yes, Lee, we can hear you now. And Medi Asha, I think then we can follow the order as earlier. So
Yeah.
Higher could go first. Thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Lee, you could go ahead, please.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Sorry. This is Lee from Harvard Medical, and I'm the project director in Asia. Actually, it is my great honor to be here with you for this event, and it is also our great pleasure for our company to be here with you. Yeah, just want to say a lot of thanks on behalf of our company. So now I will take around 5 minutes to show our presentation for our RTMD. So can you see my screen? Hello?
It's partly visible, not completely, and not on full screen mode.
No.
There seems to be a bit of a glitch. Okay, it's sorted now.
And now, okay?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay,
now.
sorry, yeah. So our presentation will include 4 parts. The first one is RTMD introduction. Second one is the global network. The third one is the upgrade of innovation. And the last one is the vision of the innovation. So what is RTMD? RTMD actually, generally speaking, it is a remote temperature monitoring device which can collect data. So can you see my screen? No?
It's visible.
Okay. Yeah, it's a remote temperature monitoring device which can collect data from the equipment where it is placed. It can measure, record, and store the temperature data by the external temperature sensor and transmit them to platforms through LBS. LBS means location-based service. So go for the next one. This is the use of RTMD. RTMD can be used to monitor the food during the transportation and the warehousing. Also can monitor the medicine, vaccine, blood, reagents, and the biological products. And it can be used for freezer, refrigerator, refrigerated cabinets, cold rooms, cold packs, and also refrigeration trucks, and also incubators. This is the hardware. You can see the USB port and also the.
Please, sorry, the slides are not moving in case you are moving them. We are on slide number 4. Yeah, now it's good.
Page number 4. Now, okay.
Yeah, so you can scroll to whichever slide you were speaking on right now. We were stuck on slide number 4.
Okay, so yeah. Actually, RTMD is a remote temperature data monitoring device that has the ability to gather data from the equipment where it is stored. And it has external temperature sensor, which can measure the temperature, record and store the temperature to the platform through LBS. So it's clear now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So the next one is the use of RTMD. The RTMD can be used to monitor the food or the vaccine, the medicine, the blood, reagents, and some other biological products, as you can see listed here. And it can be used in refrigerator. Hello?
Actually, you're audible and it's visible as well.
Lee, you might want to go on to the next slide. Your slide hasn't moved.
Okay, so this one, can you see this one? Page 6.
Yes, we
now,
can see.
Now we can.
Okay, yeah. So should I start from here?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. This is the hardware of RTMD. The function, as you can see, mentioned in the photo, I want to introduce you the display. The display can show the time, the humidity, and the mobile signal connection, the probe, and also the alarm function. Next one, this is the feature of RTMDs. It has 2 sensors, one built-in high-precision temperature sensor and one external NTC sensor. Secondly, it is using IP66 protection, and which is waterproof, shockproof, and anti-clearing proof. The third one, this product is small, which is easy to put inside the incubator or some other equipment. And the last one, it has sound and light alarms. This is the software of our RTMD. You can see the website. It's mentioned on the top side, ems.harvardmedical.com. This is the homepage of the software. Hello.
Lee,
We can hear you fine.
Yeah, and if we could wind up in another minute or so, in the interest of time, please.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Lee, you are muted. You can continue.
Okay, now, can you hear me now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, this is the software homepage. From this page, you can check all the information like the high temperature, low temperature, the alarm, and some other information. Everything is here. Why I cannot move to next slide? Hello.
We can hear you, Mr. Lee.
Okay, so which page should I start? Sorry for that.
Do you want to go to slide number 8? We are currently on slide number 6 is what we can see on the screen.
Page 7 or page 8?
Page 8.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is the software for our RTMD. You can see the home page. From the home page, you can check everything. You can see the history temperature data, setting alarm information, and it can generate temperature data report automatically. So can you see my screen?
We are still on page
slide number 8. Can you move to slide number 9 now?
Okay, now.
Lee, I think if you can conclude now, because we are already over time with your assigned slot. So if you could conclude in another line or two, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, for our RTMD, we have covered more than 52 countries, and we have supplied to more than 4,500 units to the world, mainly for Africa, Asia, and North American. If we ranked by country, mainly on Tanzania, Uganda, and Myanmar in China. So the upgrade of innovation is that we have 3 models which been qualified by WHO PQS. Beside our RTMD, we also have one RTMD Pro and also LoRa RTMD, which is used to monitor the cold rooms. So our vision of the innovation is that, as we know—
Lee, sorry to interrupt you, but I think we should move to the next presentation now. We did get a good overview of what you were presenting, and thank you for your time. It would be great if you could stop sharing for the next presenter now.
Okay, no issue. I can share the PPT after meeting, no issue. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you need to stop sharing the screen from here so that the next presenter can start sharing.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Lee. Request Mediasha team to now start their presentation.
Yeah.
And we request you to please stick to the time slot of 5 minutes.
Yes, sure. So is my screen and is visible?
Yes.
Okay. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to present our innovation. I'm Komal Sanas, co-founder of Mediasha Technologies, and Asha is a Sanskrit word which stands for hope. This highlights our dream to create hopes for healthy life through innovation. Journey of Mediasha started with BIG grant from BIRAC DBT, and just a minute. Yeah, journey of Mediasha started with BIRAC grant, with BIG grant from BIRAC DBT. We are Startup India recognized and ISO 13485 certified company. So let's quickly jump on the problem that we are addressing. In India, every single minute, one person is injured in a road accident. And the common injuries linked in road accident are dislocations, fractures, sprains, etc. And fractures are really painful injuries. So, is my screen visible?
Perfectly well.
Okay, so I was saying that fractures need support in the golden hour. Till the patient is taken to the hospital. Otherwise, it can lead to muscle pain and spasm. There can be damage to the blood vessels due to the accidental movement of the injured arm, and there is chance of second injuries, which may be harmful than the previous ones. So we identified this loophole and started working on a solution which is simple, instant, and provides proper securement. And it is well known that early immobilization can prevent limb-threatening injuries, which may lead to long-term disability or death. So we have developed a product named FractoAid. It's a simple, easy-to-use product to support the injured or support the fractured limb in just 5 minutes of time. It is patented product, and FractoAid promotes better and faster healing and prevents a lifelong disability by immobilizing the limb at earliest. So how to use, it's a simple 3-step application. Dip the splint in water, squeeze out the excess water and remove the excess water and wrap around the fractured limb. So you can see in just 5 minutes of time, we can apply the splint and the arm or the fractured limb is secured. FractoAid benefits the patient by providing early immobilization, and thus it reduces the muscle pain due to the accidental movement of the limb, and it accommodates the swelling and thus prevents further injuries which may happen. And for the first responder, it is an integrated pack with ready-to-use straps. So it can be applied in just 5 minutes of time. It is a very, it adapts to the patient's extremities and it is conformable. And thus, that's this USP, the simplicity, speed of use, and proper securement. So in rural region, there is lack of facility and experts to treat the patients, and thus they are transported to the urban area for advanced treatment. In such PHCs, FractoAid is extremely beneficial to the physician as it immobilizes the fractured limb at earliest. It does not require much expertise and it accommodates the tissue swelling and supports the limb till the patient is taken to the urban area, to the orthopedic treatment. In application in healthcare centers, so due to a fracture, there is swelling and thus no further treatment can be initiated. So in emergency departments, FractoAid can be used. For treating the minor fractures, splinting is the option. So at that time, FractoAid can be used, and in post-surgery immobilization. So we have total 18 variants for upper limb and for lower limb in 3 sizes, small, medium, large. And it ranges from 549 to 1499. Medihasha has received few notable awards and accolades for its innovation. Few of them are the BIG grant. We were the finalist of Social Innovator in the NCSI conference, selected for AID program by Swissnex India, and then a special prize in healthcare tracking, Seaside Startup Summit Goa, and many more. So we even presented to few honorable mentions. So Dr. Harshvardhan in the Venture Center, Anil Kakodkar, and many more. And these are few of the well-known media channels who recognized us and helped us to spread the word about FractoEd. And we are very happy to be part of the path, and we are looking for collaborations where we can reach the patients rapidly in the PHCs. And we would be grateful if you could join us on our path toward a future free of disabilities. So thank you. With this, I would like to end my presentation, and I am happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Komal. And it would be great if you could now stop sharing the screen. And like Shivangi said, we could probably take questions towards the end, depending upon the time that we have. And I would request now team from Delft Imaging to present their technology solution.
Just double checking that you said Delft Imaging.
That's right, Enya.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I will just share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us. It's really a privilege to be part of this group and to also hear all the other great innovations that are happening for primary health and to be part of now this network. It's very valuable for us as a company, as Delft Imaging, but also especially with our newest innovation called Baby Checker. So to start with the problem that we are facing, it's a global challenge that is affecting 300,000 women who die during pregnancy and childbirth around the world. And a very important fact in all of this is that a lot of these deaths are actually preventable. And this high maternal mortality that happens mostly in developing countries and still in emerging markets represents a lack of prevention and timely referrals from the primary health facilities or from the community to hospitals. And this is really where point of care ultrasound, which is our baby checker, of course, could have the greatest impact at the primary health level to detect complications on time. But the problem with ultrasound and the uptake of it is the absence of the ultrasound itself, because it tends to be a very expensive piece of technology, and also the absence of a trained medical professional. So the pricing of the ultrasound itself, but also the training of a medical professional or acquiring a medical professional that is trained to use ultrasound can be very costly and challenging. And without a proper solution in communities and at the primary care level, some women have very lengthy journeys to hospitals far from their home, and that can delay their visit to a midwife or to the health facility and cause a late diagnosis, which can have fatal consequences as a result. A lot of things in our presentation, as you see, are geared towards Africa, because that's where a lot of our projects have taken place so far. But through being part of this network and through the opportunity of being a winner, we hope that a network can help us to have some first projects in India as well. So what we thought, with all of these problems in mind, the lack of ultrasound, the lack of medical professionals, and the challenges pregnant women face in order to reach antenatal care services, we thought, what if we could empower health workers to make pregnancies safer? I think as a global public health community, especially at the primary healthcare level, we understand the role and the importance that health workers have. Those frontline health workers play a significant role in timely detections and reaching hard to reach communities. So it's important for us to empower them and motivate them to play their role. And that's how we came up with Baby Checker, which is a smartphone-based ultrasound powered by artificial intelligence to support the detection of risky pregnancies. Again, with the scarcity of medical professionals, especially at the primary care level, artificial intelligence can really accelerate that task shifting that someone else has mentioned already towards those health workers and to empower them to make pregnancies safer. So with the whole context in mind, especially in hard-to-reach communities or resource-constrained settings, Baby Checker was fully designed for untrained users. So what that means is midwives, all sorts of health workers that have not been trained to use ultrasound. And it was designed to be in their hands specifically. So it's very, very simple. You're guided by our Baby Checker app to take 6 sweeps across the abdomen. And then the images are acquired throughout these sweeps. So that should take around from 1 to 2 minutes. And then our artificial intelligence software analyzes these within seconds and results are shown on the app. Sorts of results, a health worker at a primary care level can see now are gestational age, fetal presentation, multiple pregnancies, placenta localization, and fetal heartbeat. And at this stage, it is sufficient to triage risky pregnancies from non-risky pregnancies. And the list will continue growing, of course, as we develop further. So we created Baby Checker for local empowerment primarily. And how we do this is we make it as resource efficient as possible, and we really focus on the capacity building aspect of health system strengthening. So we're leveraging the available human resource, which tends to be community health workers, such as midwives, and just really strengthen their role in the community to increase the antenatal care attendance by improving the services provided, and really to improve the role that the community health center plays in that community, to make sure that they're equipped and have the adequate resources to triage more efficiently. So the solution was not designed for highly educated or savvy users, tech-savvy users especially. So that's really how we make our solution as resource efficient as possible. We've really been focused on resource efficiency with the training part of the solution we're delivering. It's really important for a solution like Baby Checker that's built for the untrained user to strengthen primary care, that the training is as simple as possible. And we've been perfecting this over the past couple of years and have brought it down to 1 hour. This basically means that all sorts of health workers that we've worked with, including nurses, midwives, community health officers that have no prior training or even knowledge of ultrasound. Some of them had never really held a smartphone before, can do 6 sweeps within 1 hour of training. This is how Baby Checker is sort of implemented at the moment. That's how we see it as a public health intervention. So the community health worker can either be in a primary care facility or during outreaches can go into the community with Baby Checker, scans a woman, basically determines if it's a high-risk pregnancy and why, or whether it's a low-risk pregnancy, and triage whether this woman can go back to the community, come back for another scan in a couple of months, or needs to be referred to the closest hospital. This is our timeline. So what we've done so far, where the journey of Baby Checker so far. So we've had, as Delft Imaging, we partner with Radboud University Medical Center, one of the leading medical centers in Europe for machine learning on medical imaging, which is our specialty. And we've developed this with PhD candidates over the past 4 years. Then we developed a prototype that was tested in Ethiopia. And since the proof of concept, we've really just been improving the product to make sure it's as fit as possible for our goals of resource efficiency, capacity building, and local empowerment. And we ran a minimum viable product in Sierra Leone and Ghana over the past almost 2 years, and continuously improving things like the training material, also the mobile app to make it as intuitive as possible, and the AI software always. That's in continuous development to detect more and more risk factors. This is our team, our small team within Delft Imaging that focuses on Baby Checker. And yes, and I'd just like to thank you all again for having Baby Checker and Delft Imaging part of this group. And our main focus through our partners has been on Sub-Saharan Africa. That's where we've run most of our projects so far. And I'm really happy to be part of this group now because, yeah, we hope to reach India very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Anya. And I would request Shivangi if you could project the screen for path side to slide. So I understand that we are running a little behind time, but we didn't want to close before thanking our partners, including Swasth and others like Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor, CCAM, Social Alpha, ACT, and Stanford. So this journey wouldn't have been possible without you, and we do look forward to continuous support in taking these innovations to the next steps. If you could show the next slide, please. So as next steps, we are creating a compendium which is going to be released very soon, featuring these winners. And this will be shared with national and global stakeholders. And we do look forward to identifying other opportunities of working with these solutions. And compendium itself being a live document, and we will keep on adding promising technologies to that. So working with them along with partners and looking forward to a better comprehensive primary healthcare. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. We have a few questions which we can address. We have a little time left, so I would like to start with what we have in the Q&A box. There is a question, I think, from Mr. Amod for directed towards Dr. Amrita from Arogya Medisoft. So Dr. Amrita, if you could kindly address the question. I think he's asking what is the price of the device, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Partha here from Arogya Medisoft. So the price of the price of the device can actually is dependent on how it is being adopted in the setup, but overall the price of the testing can be like for glucose testing it is 5 rupees, for bilirubin or for hemoglobin these are all 5 rupee tests, and for cholesterol, triglyceride and etc they are 25 rupees tests. So within a 60 rupee, within a 70 rupees range, the basic test of all the routine tests can be performed, and the maximum price of the device is 1 lakh rupees, and it depending on the volume and how it is being deployed, it can come down to 49,000 rupees.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I also have an attendee with their hand raised, Deepika S. If you can hear me, if you could just unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Thank you very much, Shivangi. This is Hi, Dr. Deepika Saraf from Swasth. I'm a member of the Medical Product Council here. So my
Hi,
question
Deepika.
is for the baby checker. And
Oh, I think we have a connectivity issue here. Till the time that is sorted, there is another question in the chat. Okay, you're back. All right.
So the question is to the baby checker app. Because they said the last sentence was that they would like to come to India and do this. My only concern is that we have a PNDT Act in India, and according to that, the radiology of a pregnant woman, I mean the radio diagnosis, any imaging of a pregnant woman is not allowed to anybody except someone who has done an MD radio diagnosis or a postgraduate training in radio diagnosis. Because doctors come under that, and there is a sex identification problem, and we have a high female mortality, female feticide. So it's a very strong act. Anybody who does that is simply arrested. Two of my batchmates have been arrested. So how do you address this? The health workers will not be allowed under the law.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah, we're aware that India and the regulations there are a little bit different than what we face in a lot of African countries we're already in. How we generally address these things, because we also have other AI products, some of which are active in India as well, is these are not diagnostic tools. So we're very clear about that. They're not registered medical devices that can diagnose, but they're triage tools to suggest or indicate potential risks. So that's the difference a little bit. And the other difference is the user, so our targeted user being a midwife, for example, is not interpreting images. So she's simply getting the results about gestational age, placenta localization, for example, and that is suggestive and can help triage as opposed to her interpreting images and making a diagnosis. Also, when the triage is done, so if there's a referral, there's another standard ultrasound normally being used at the hospital by a trained professional. So that's the difference. And what you mentioned about sex, I believe, towards the end. So that's something we don't do, precisely for the reason you just mentioned. So in the countries we have worked in, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Ethiopia especially, this is strictly unethical. So that's not something, despite AI's abilities to do so many things, there's always ethics we need to consider. And that's something we don't do. It's good because we consider the ethics. Does that answer your questions?
It does. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
All right, I think that wraps the Q&A session as well. For the purpose of this call, we were also supposed to have a very important update from the ACT and the Swasth Impact Assessment team. Mr. Vineet Korean is on the call with us. Sadly, we've run out of time. My sincere apologies, Mr. Korean. We will have that for sure in our all hands call next month. But I'm afraid this is where we have to wrap. Once again, my sincere apologies, Mr. Korean. We ran out of time.
No worries. Yeah.
All right. I think that was a very insightful 1 hour. I would just like to thank everybody for attending and all the panelists who came. This is a very exciting learning session, I think, for all of us. I would just like to hand it over to Ajay for his closing remarks.
Thank you, Shivangi, and thank you, everybody. And we are very excited to be on this journey of primary care with PATH and all these other partners. It does look like there is a critical mass forming around primary care in India. And we are very excited to see where these innovations go and the kind of system change that we can make happen. And so thank you all, and very excited to continue working with you all. And thank you, Shivangi, for anchoring the call.
Thank you so much.